Happy Halloween! Happy Nevada Day! Hey, on this day in 1864, the state of Nevada entered the Union, and its electoral votes helped re-elect Lincoln in the midst of the Civil War. So today on CityCast Las Vegas, we're rounding up some political news and one particularly explosive story. I'm with community advocate Patricia Haddad Bennett and my co-host David Figler, and we're going to talk about what's going on with SNAP, the potential GOP midterm convention here in Vegas, and a box of Wild West explosives found in a shed in Good Springs. It's Friday, October 31st. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, friends.
Good morning. Happy Nevada Day.
Good morning.
Battleborn.
Happy Nevada Day.
Battleborn.
All right. So actually, we kind of have a interior hot headline, a personal hot headline today. Sonia is here with some news. Executive producer Sonia Cho Swanson, take the mic.
Hello, hello. Yes. So,
Hi.
Hey, boss.
I do have some news. So CityCast is hiring a new executive producer for our show and daily newsletter. And yes, it is a huge job. I know because it is mine. I've been doing this job with y'all for almost 4 years now. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
4?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while. But during this time, my circumstances have changed. My husband's job, as y'all know, internally is in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And it is just getting harder and harder. We have a growing little family to run this show in and about Las Vegas from the Bay Area. So the time has come for me to help hire someone incredible to lead this incredible team and this incredible show into its next great chapter. And so, listeners out there, if you think that's you, Patricia, if you think that's you,
Ooh.
Throwing it right
just
down.
so y'all know, the application is now live. You can go over to citycast.fm, visit the jobs page. I'll also be adding a link in the show notes. We'll put up some stuff on our Instagram. And the position closes, the listing will close on November 17th.
It's a lot of work, but it's definitely quality work. And while you have to put up with me and Sarah.
Yeah. If you want to manage me and David on the daily, apply at CityCast.fm jobs right now. Here we are. We're a handful. But Sonia is here through the new year, so we get to spend the next couple months celebrating all that you've done here, Sonia.
And so much to
Thank
celebrate, too. I mean,
Yeah.
your heart and soul is in every single podcast that we drop, and we're getting close to almost 1,000 of them. You've been here
a
since
lot.
the very beginning,
Wow.
and I can't wait for the celebration to begin because there is so much to celebrate.
Oh,
and we're going to
thank
really,
you.
really, really miss you, Sonia.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
We
y'all.
love
We gotta
Sonia.
save the maudlin goodbyes for later. Woo, don't make me cry.
Sonia, I'll hang out with you whenever I want. I'm not going to miss you.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
come
find
see
some
you in
good
San
news.
Francisco.
Let's find
Yeah.
some good news to talk about now.
There is none. There's no
Oh.
good
None.
news.
So-
So
great.
Cool.
Well, on that note, I will leave you all to it. Have fun,
all right.
y'all.
So check out the application, send it to a friend. Actually, David and I are not involved in the hiring process, so we can't give you any sweet recommendations, but we'll see one of you on the other side of all this.
Well, it sounds like a job that doesn't come about very often, so that's kind of exciting.
Yeah. And it's a great company to work for. They have a lot of good benefits and stuff. So, yeah,
They
check
do
that
have
out.
good benefits. It's true. All right, so shall we talk about some local, state, and national news? So I think one of the biggest that's affecting the entire country, but is also going to affect Southern Nevada, is the fact that SNAP benefits are scheduled to be paused as of November 1st. David, let's throw it to you. I just need the whole lowdown on all this, all right?
Yeah, and I'm going to shame some bad employers, I think, during the course of this, because that, in my opinion, is a big part of this problem. But let's just focus on the news that we know, even though it is kind of dynamic and changing all the time, but it's not good news.
Okay.
SNAP, or the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, is federal assistance for low-income families. And I want to make it really clear that
And individuals.
the majority of individuals who receive, or families that receive SNAP benefits, either are working or have worked during the calendar year, are grossly underemployed, or have just really low wages, and they depend on it. And that number in southern Nevada is about 400,000 people. So with the federal shutdown, the federal program that brings that money to Nevada, although Nevada does pay some costs of the administration, is not there, right? So everyone's been scrambling in the midst of a lot of finger pointing as to whose fault it is, but that really doesn't matter when you know that hunger is already a problem in our communities, is only going to get worse. And so, SNAP has taken some huge hits with the big, beautiful bill, lots of more arduous requirements, age requirements going up, work requirements going up, and it's really not a lot of money. It's paltry. On average, it's like $6 to $8 a day for food supplementing. It really is something that our community needs and relies upon. And, for whatever reason, and I'm not here to finger point, but, the economy has taken some really rough hits this year, and more people are seeking out food assistance through pantries, right? So, just over the last 4 months, 16% increase in people seeking food from food pantries in southern Nevada. And 75% of those are new timers who have never had to do that before. And that's in addition to the SNAP benefits and the requirements getting harder and harder. So now without SNAP, and here's what the total amount is every month of cost for Nevada, $90 million. So there have been a lot of proposals that are being made. We should note that there are 2 separate proposals working their way through the federal government, one sponsored by, of all people, Republican Josh Hawley. The other is from a representative from New Mexico trying to basically find the money federally to extend SNAP programs so that at least November is taken care of.
Because this is unprecedented. We've had a government shutdown within memory that's lasted longer.
Yes, Sarah, it is unprecedented that we aren't using the contingency funds. The Trump administration is saying
that are designed for SNAP, yeah.
Right, that those are unavailable. The contingency funds are unavailable. And one component of the story is that Nevada, through Attorney General Aaron Ford, has joined on to a number of states that are suing the Trump administration, saying that they are intentionally blocking money that is available. So that's one
Nevada
thread.
is suing with 10 other states.
Nevada is suing the federal government through our Attorney General, saying that the Trump administration's block of the contingency funds for SNAP is unlawful. Okay, so that's one thread. So you've got the federal government maybe making bills to fix it. That's one. 2, you've got the state of Nevada suing the federal government. That's 2. And then within the state, yesterday, the Interim Finance Committee in Nevada approved $30 million for food assistance of some level, because there's all these workarounds, but that's still only a third of the needed money for November alone. And so you've got our state treasurer who's saying, hey, I've been really good at keeping money into a rainy day fund. Guess what, y'all? It's raining, and it's not raining manna from heaven. We need to feed our people. And what good is government if it doesn't make sure that the hungriest among us are fed? So he has really been pushing the governor and the legislature to release these funds that we already have. The governor has been pushing back, saying we can't do these sort of things. It's unlawful. Anyway, it started with a very small number. It's up to 30 million, but that's still not enough. And if this keeps going through December, we're going to be right back here again. There are going to be a lot of people who are really hungry. And, while the politicians are all saying it's the Dems' fault, or Republicans' fault, or the law does or doesn't allow it, in the meanwhile, let's not forget why so many of our people in Nevada are in need of supplemental assistance, and that's because the wages are too damn low, and that a lot of big companies, and typically, the companies whose name comes up as being
Amazon, Walmart.
People
are employed full time but don't make enough to be off public assistance.
And while SNAP statistics aren't, broken down by company like Medicaid is, there's a lot of crossover and there's a lot of similar qualifications. And so we can very much speculate that if these businesses were doing better for their own people, that there wouldn't be such a need. But here we are in this very dire situation, and we're not going to stop seeing these fights until either SNAP is sort of, re-upped by the federal government, or, the people demand relief.
So we do have 30 million in place for November.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say that's a bad thing that 30 million is going, but we need 90 million for something very basic, feeding people.
Yeah, and just, I don't know, for anyone listening that wonders what kind of people are on SNAP, I was on SNAP for a year after I left my husband. Obviously, a rough time financially. And I think I've mentioned previously, I have been on, I think, Medicaid 3 years in the past 20. So those systems are also often designed to support you during difficult times. And the majority of the people who are on public assistance move out of public assistance within 3 years. They're there to help you. This is what our government does.
And some people only get it for 3 months under the new rules. So, this is not like permanently being on assistance. It's like literally, like you said, Sarah, it's a gap to get people fed while they are indeed doing all the things that you need to do to live in this world.
And back on your feet. And food is a human right.
And we're talking about disabled people and elderly people and kids. Lots and lots and lots of kids. Yeah.
So, David, how is support or opposition of both SNAP being paused and the bills that are trying to fund it, how is that falling along party lines?
I don't know that it is. I think that, it's a very easy blame game because everyone gets behind the idea that you want your citizens to be fed.
Yeah.
It's just how you go about doing it. Look, it ultimately comes down to this sort of blame game about the government shutdown. And, the Dems are saying, look, the bill as is already destroys and hurts SNAP in horrible ways, but also gets rid of people's health care. So we're not going to trade off health care for, this reformed, in your mind, food security thing. It all sucks, and you have to at least put the health care in place. And the Republicans are saying, look, it's a clean bill. If you just vote for it, this is the budget bill. If you just vote for it, then SNAP will start flowing again. So, it's a crazy standoff, but as far as party lines go, I think everyone's trying to lawfully figure out where they are. I think the Dems are more likely to say this is a rainy day situation than the Republicans right now.
So the budget bill, of course, is cutting additional subsidies for people who are on the Affordable Care Act to make their health care more affordable. It's interesting you're kind of framing this as Republicans in the Senate are holding SNAP hostage and just vote for the bill and everything will be fine, and holding people's wages hostage. Patricia, do you have a sense, why is food assistance so political?
Yeah, well, I think whenever you have politicians involved in something, all of a sudden it becomes partisan and political, which is just a shame. And I think, the mention of it being a standoff, I think there's a couple of things. One, you've got a Republican-controlled House, you've got a Republican-controlled Senate, you've got a Republican-controlled White House. So, these things, ostensibly should be sort of less difficult to be able to work through. But at the same time, I think David mentioned it's a standoff, and it's a standoff with vulnerable people, with kids and elderly standing in the middle of it who, otherwise should be able to rely on this type of assistance. There's no reason the money is not flowing, but for egos and, some of these decisions that are really important, of course, as you guys mentioned, that need to be made around, the budget and sort of how they're moving forward. But I think for me, it's just vulnerable people are caught in the middle of it. And that is just totally unfair.
That seems to be the case with all of these federal cuts. And there has been so many cuts to federal funding to the states. The implication there is that we're back to individual states' rights. We should take care of everything ourselves. Is that reasonable? Can the states fund programs like SNAP month after month?
Well, we do. There's a program called WIC, which is for pregnant women, new mothers, some children. And that has been extended by the state through December. So at least that small portion of people who have food needs is being handled by the state. And again, the state does pay for some of the administration of SNAP anyway. So, the state is involved, but it's such a huge number that I don't know that any state can actually handle the feeding of its own people.
That's right.
At this time. And yeah,
I agree. And, process wise also, as far as the state trying to fill the gap for now, that $30 million that the IFC is approving is just one piece of it. And then to actually pull from the rainy day fund, like David was mentioning, they would need to call a special session, which obviously there are already conversations about special session for other reasons. But it would still, take an act of the legislature to come through and say, okay, we're going to pull from the 1.3 or $1.5 billion that are sitting in the rainy day fund. And like David mentioned, yeah, it's probably raining right now, but that money runs out. And without new revenue in the state to figure out how to fill some of these gaps, because the money is already being doled out to all of our public services to begin with. And so, no, it absolutely leaves states in the lurch to figure out how to pay for these things. And, the question is how much, at the federal level, anyone cares.
So if you or someone is on SNAP in Southern Nevada, what are their options as of November 1st?
Well, I mean, if it's not worked out, here's some immediate things that people are going to do. We are going to see them relying on food pantries a lot more. They're going to be inundated. And we did 2 great episodes about food banks and food pantries separately on this podcast. I highly recommend people to look those up so they can understand how that works. But if you have money that you want to give to people, you should give that to, for here in Southern Nevada, 3 Square, because they get more bang for their buck to get food, to purchase food, to distribute food. And then if you want to do food drives or help feed people, et cetera, you find, a convenient food pantry that's nearby you, because they are going to be inundated. I mean, that's all you can do if you are hungry and in need for food and your SNAP check or SNAP card, rather, did not arrive.
That's right. And I think that we're already seeing that the need, I'm already driving by food banks and seeing the car lines snaking through the parking lot. So folks know that this is coming, and are very sobered to the fact that this is happening. And, I agree, go back and listen to that episode, because it talks a lot about what types of things food banks can take in and can't, which I think is really important to be mindful. If you want to go do if you have the means to be able to do a grocery haul and you want to drop that off at your local food bank, just be mindful about the types of things that you're grabbing, perishable versus non-perishable and whatnot. And if you're able to write a check, I think exactly like what David said, whether that's to your local food bank that's around the corner from you, or to 3 Square, because they're able to support all of the smaller
and extend those
food banks
dollars
as well.
Better because of their purchasing power. And look, if you have kids and they have friends, feed the friends, because you don't know who needs it and who doesn't need it. If you are going to gather with friends or family or neighbors, have food available too, if you can.
We're going to put the links, whether you need help or you can help, links to all the places we mentioned are going to be in our show notes.
The Water Lantern Festival is coming back to Las Vegas on Saturday, November 1st at Sunset Park. It'll be an unforgettable evening filled with community, connection, and thousands of lanterns lighting up the water. It's a family-friendly festival that has something for everyone. Food trucks, live music, and activities to enjoy before the lantern launch. Gates open at 3 p.m., the festival runs until 7, and the breathtaking lantern launch begins at 6 p.m. You should head on over to their website and check out some photos from prior events. They really are stunning. And each ticket comes with your very own lantern kit and marker, so you can create a personal design, whether it's a message of hope, love, or remembrance, and then watch it float across the water alongside thousands of others. So don't wait. This event often sells out. Get your tickets now at waterlanternfestival.com. That's waterlanternfestival.com.
All right, so we've got some other news that came in this week that the GOP is considering Las Vegas for a midterm political convention, which are pretty uncommon. Patricia, what is your take on this?
Yep, that's exactly right. So there's some reports coming out of Washington that Trump's advisors are discussing holding that event here in Las Vegas. Some other places are also being considered, I think Texas and Washington, D.C. And The idea here, like you said, is the national conventions are usually only held during presidential election years. And actually, the Republicans have never held a midterm election convention. So this would be new for them. But, their thought process is to use it to highlight their congressional candidates and, talk about the administration's record, because they really want to maintain, they have a narrow margin and they want to keep that margin to make sure that they maintain control of both houses. And so if it's held in Las Vegas, it would likely coincide with the start time of early voting. And, I think what they're banking on, or would bank on, is the media coverage to be able to sort of bolster their image in the public eye, right around voting time. Trump did carry Nevada in 2024. Which was the first time a Republican did in 20 years. Obviously, we've got the Trump International Hotel, and we know that there are other sort of big names in the gaming industry that have been very vocal supporters of him and his administration. And then the other piece is that, I think, I'm not sure if it's in response to or sort of parallel to, that the Democrats are also talking about considering their own midterm convention as well. But I mean, it just speaks to, this idea of using these large scale events to try to capture the sort of national mind and national headlines, which is, I mean, probably a departure from, really talking about the issues, I would think.
Do you think that Trump just misses a rally? Because he hasn't been doing a lot of public speaking since he got shot. I mean, he'll do press conferences and stuff. Do you think part of this is he's just like missing the crowds?
Maybe his Truth Social posts are not getting enough reposts. Is that what you're saying?
He likes the immediate feedback, right? That has been his biggest skill, is keeping those rallies going. And he hasn't gotten to do it in a while.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they're worried, right? I think that there are some really high impact issues that are out there that are unresolved. And, I don't need to get into the list of all of them, but, different things about types of files that need to be, put out into the world. And I think, we're hearing a lot about various folks that voted for Trump that are thinking, gosh, I don't know if this is exactly what I voted for when it comes to, how immigration is being handled, or how food assistance, for example, is being handled. And so, they've got a PR situation on their hands that they need to continue to try to tighten up, I think, as far as their best interest to do that.
Because I was thinking continue to lie to people about, but that's just
that's
brain.
Another way to say it. I'm trying to be somewhat diplomatic here, but also, I mean, it's a mess.
David, why Vegas?
I think that the commander-in-chief is more of an affirmation and bombast junkie than even me. And probably more than all humans on Earth combined in a lot of ways.
Oh,
and
wait,
Las
was I
Vegas...
supposed to be like, no, David, not you, instead of just laughing?
I know who I am.
It's okay, I'm just teasing you. I'm teasing you.
I have a mirror. Look, here's the thing. Vegas is sort of that, artifice and bombast that he seems to really like as a backdrop, and there would be a lot of energy and excitement. I don't see it happening for the same reasons that
You don't think so?
Conventions have been passed in the past in Las Vegas. Look, we have one of the highest unemployment rates in the country. That's not a good metric. If it's happening anywhere near the Strip, they have to deal with culinary, which is not a entity that is a supporter of the current administration.
But that's part of the poll, right? Trying to win over the unions here.
Yeah, good luck with that. I mean, no taxes on tips aside, not really friendly policies, but also like all the various trappings and the idea that if this country is suffering, going to like the hottest vacation destination, expendable income, gamble your life sort of place, maybe for the optics of what they're really looking to do, I think there's got to be some sober voices in the Republican Party saying, Vegas is great. They really have come around. They have now voted for Trump, but maybe it's not the best look for us. And, look, I don't want to discourage them coming here. That's good for our economy. Yeah. And if they're going to do it somewhere, they might as well do it here. But I think that there are a lot of components of our outward-facing community that maybe don't mesh with what they're trying to accomplish right now.
I agree. I agree with that. It's like, come spend your tens and hundreds of millions of dollars or however much it costs to put that together, and like, come spend your money here. Like, no problem. I don't think that's not the thing that anyone's arguing. I mean, I think it's just a question of, is this the right place and is this the right time? But yes, come spend your money.
We're the new swing state. We've got a Republican governor. Like, it seems pretty sweet. And honestly, I think that they would frame it as like, look, everything's fine. We're here partying in Vegas. Anyone who's telling you it's not fine is wrong. You can't see that?
Oh, I can see it. I think that there might be a very big internal debate about that right now in the Republican Party. But I think that President Trump would absolutely love being in a place like Las Vegas to kind of show off all the gold-tinged things that he likes to, all the shiny things that he likes to flash in front of the country.
Well, and if they do, I hope the Democrats book the hotel right next door and meet them one for one.
Riot in the streets.
All right. So in our last story, some really oldie-timey dynamite was found in Good Springs. So this is from reporting via KTNV Las Vegas. So the Good Springs resident and TV personality, I didn't know this, Steve Darnell, said he summoned officers to his property after finding a 50-pound box of dynamite in an old shed. Now, picture the most like cartoon-looking red stick dynamite you have ever seen. Like real old-fashioned
Acme
explosives.
Roadrunner.
Yeah, Acme, exactly.
And Wile E. Coyote.
I think such a great quote. He called it a sleeping giant, that he's been working around a sleeping giant for a year and a half. So Darnell is on the Discovery Channel. He has a show called Vegas Rat Rods, and he owns the shop Welder Up Fabrications.
Oh, yeah.
He's moving his business out there to Good Springs, and so he's slowly cleaning out this old property. And he was cleaning in a shed because he wanted to make the property open for people to tour during the upcoming Fallout fan celebration, which is happening next month because the Pioneer Saloon of Good Springs is in the Fallout video game.
Big fan.
Many layers.
Big fan of the TV show. Yeah.
Interestingly, this is also not the first time that random dynamite has been found in Good Springs. The town was founded in 1900 as a mining community. Dynamite, explosives is a big part of old-fashioned mining and contemporary mining. And there's also been similar incidents in other mining communities like Hawthorne and Silver Springs. So he finds the dynamite. He calls the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. They sent the bomb squad. They had to evacuate or shelter in place different parts of Good Springs, which is a tiny, tiny community. The bomb squad evacuated the town, neutralized the dynamite, and then burned it for disposal. So
boom goes the dynamite.
All said and done, but a pretty exciting week down in Good Springs. So if you were a resident of the town of Good Springs and you had to evacuate, where would you go?
The Pioneer Saloon.
No, that's in Good Springs.
Oh, you have to leave Good Springs?
Yeah. You got to get out.
I'm taking over the mall down in Prim.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the haunted mall.
Lord of the Mall.
There's only one store there, but it is a pretty big store.
No, it doesn't make it. It's gonna be like the Mall of the Dead, and they could like reinvigorate it and make like a settlement there.
They're gonna start a whole business and a whole new settlement whilst they've evacuated from Good Springs.
Well, I think all 200 people that live in Good Springs could probably fit into the mall. So
yeah, definitely.
Or we could just run a film fest over at the Beverly, and that seats about that many people.
That's
they
nice.
could just go watch films, and while the dynamite is being remediated.
My first reaction was I'll just go over to Terrible's, but Terrible's is closed now, so I guess I'll just hang out at the Terrible's gas station.
They always find like horrible things like dynamite or like bodies and stuff. Where's the treasure maps? Where's the I just discovered a bunch of treasure maps, and then we could all go down there and invigorate the economy and also maybe find a motherlode of hidden silver.
And I just want to say, I really do love Good Springs. It's such a cool town. I love taking people there. I love the Pioneer Saloon. I'm glad that it didn't explode, but this seems pretty like par for the course for Good Springs, honestly. So I'm just curious for the two of you, what relic of Southern Nevada's past would you be alarmed to find in your shed?
Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh,
there he is.
He's supposed to be in Lake Mead. Right. But he's
Who
in your
knows?
shed, David.
He might be. I haven't been in there in a while.
That's what happens. That's when you end up finding the Jimmy Hoffas. What about you, Patricia?
Yeah, I mean, my head immediately goes to like a piece of a spaceship that was supposed to make it all the way to Area 51, but maybe didn't quite make it that
Ooh,
far.
okay.
Would be my reference here.
Okay. I think for me, it would be Whiskey Pete's vertical corpse. So there you go. It's a real,
We both pick corpses.
yeah, I'd be alarmed to
Aw.
find a corpse. And
Yeah.
even a famous lost corpse in my shed for sure. I mean, I haven't cleaned that thing out in a while either. This is how this happens. For real. Well, David, Patricia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
But actually, before we go, we're going to do some member shout outs. So if you're not a member yet, one of the really fun things you get to do as a member is you can shout out your favorite small business or not-for-profit on our pod and in our newsletter. So we've got a couple. We do a couple every week. I really love it. We've got a couple of members to read today. Hit it, David.
Yeah, happy to. Michaela C. loves Smokin' Sandwich in Henderson. That's over on Serene and Spencer. She says it's a local spot owned and operated by two best friends with fantastic food and great service every time. Susan L. has big ups for Rang's Cucina Moderne. It's a family-owned Spanish and Italian-influenced restaurant where the husband is front of the house and the wife is the excellent chef. Susan's verdict for that, odd location, great food. And Nate E. I know Nate E. He gives us some love and shouts out CityCast. But also, I wanted to give a shout out to the Las Vegas Brewing Company, where the food is as good as the beer, except the beer is better because it's beer.
All right. So if you want to add your voice to the chorus, you got to go to membership.citycast.fm and become a neighbor. And that's all for today here in CityCast Las Vegas. Our producers this week were Sonia Cho Swanson, Layla Muhammad, and Zoe Culkin. Our newsletter editor is Rob Katchelreese, and our roving newsletter editor is Adrian Gonzalez. Our hosts are David Figler and myself, Sarah Lohman. Music is by OG Moose, Drew Shepard, Epidemic Sound, and all the kimonos. We record this show on the traditional homelands of the Nuwuvi, the Southern Paiute people. And if you enjoyed this show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Las Vegas. Don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Take care.
It's a dance battle with the Jets and the Sharks.